On this trip, I'm going to give you 3 practical resources if you're a nervous flyer or know someone who is. We're also headed to the adventure capital of Europe to do something that made me just a little bit nervous. You ready? Let's go.
My name's Paul. I fly airplanes for a living, but my passion is encouraging you to explore this beautiful world by giving you a glimpse into my layover life.
Good morning. Today, for the first time in quite some time, I am not going to London. If you're new here, my seniority as a 757 and 767 captain gives me the days off that I want, but it doesn't really get me a great schedule. I go to London all the time, which is fine. As a matter of fact, I just looked the other day. This year, I'm about halfway through the year right now, this year I've been to London 13 times, which is a lot more than I've been anywhere else this year. But today I was able to trade my trip for Geneva, Switzerland, which is super awesome. I haven't been there since before I upgraded to captain, which was almost 3 years ago. So I'm super excited about that. My flight today from Minneapolis to Newark is wide open. Looks like I might even get first class. It's gonna be a good day. Let's go.
Getting first class when flying standby is pretty rare, but today was my lucky day. Before we took off, I did some research on what I should do during my layover. More on that later. One of my new favorite things is our Illy cold brew with oat milk creamer, but be warned, it has a lot more caffeine than a regular cup of coffee. After a quick 2-hour flight, I had arrived in my base of Newark, New Jersey. As you may know, I usually relax in the club, but
before I head to the United Club, there's something I want to show you, especially if you're a nervous traveler. If you're a fearful flyer, this book called Soar by Captain Tom Bunn. He's an airline captain and a licensed therapist. His program will help you work through your fear of flying so you can take the trip you've always wanted to take. Believe it or not, my wife is actually a little fearful of flying, so I'm going to give that book to her. Until then, I'm headed to the United Club to take a rest before we head off to Geneva.
Geneva departs Newark pretty early in the day, so I didn't have a ton of time to waste before we were headed out to the plane, which is exactly where resource number 2 is.
One more resource you might want to explore when you board the airplane is talking to the pilots. A lot of times putting a face to who's flying the airplane can help ease your anxiety. My wife has used some turbulence apps before, and the turbulence apps don't seem to really help her. They actually cause a little more anxiety. But the pilots have a pretty good app. It's called WSI. I can show you our flight tonight. Tonight's flight, a little bit of weather out here in the northeast. Some turbulence here from 28 to 35,000 feet. We should be above that. And then not really much weather going into Geneva. Maybe some convective activity, but that should pass through once we're arriving. So you can get a quick update on what the turbulence looks like, and just always remember that we want to get home to our family just as much as you do. Got Heather with me tonight. She wants to get home to her wife, her husband and kids. We got Sean, he's got a new wife he wants to get home to. We all want to get home at the end of the trip and help that ease your anxiety when you step on board the airplane.
United 956 Heavy Ramp push approved, spot 3.
United 956, clear to land runway 22, wind 0302 knots.
Clear to land runway 22, United 956.
It is not very often that the flight is perfectly smooth all the way, but that was literally the case last night. The seatbelt sign never came on once we turned it off until we started the descent into Geneva. And gosh, it is nice to be back. It was so pretty coming in here, seeing the mountains. The clouds were kind of covering the mountains over the city, and just absolutely beautiful. I also love that it's like a 10-minute drive from the airport to the hotel, unlike London, which is sometimes an hour and a half, because it gives us more time to take a nap. And in about 3 hours, we're headed to the mountains for a little adventure.
If you take the scenic route, about a 3 hours drive from Geneva, tucked into the Jungfrau region of the Swiss Alps, are 2 picturesque villages, and our first stop was straight out of a storybook. We have arrived in Lauterbrunnen. Wow, this is so epic. This waterfall, that's like the waterfall. I think everyone takes a picture of it. But there's a cool trail I think we need to go find. Get a photo of it. You guys want to go find this trail? Yeah?
Are you just going for that one shot? Is that it?
Yeah, we just drove 3 hours just
for the one shot.
just for the one picture, and then we're gonna go back. If you want this classic Lauterbrunnen photo, go find these peculiar shaped rock balls and then just walk down the path and you'll see the spot. I suppose I should reveal the actual reason we drove 3 hours. It wasn't for that photo or for these tasty sausages. Believe it or not, it was so I could jump off a cliff. Starting to get a little nervous about this whole canyon swing thing. Yeah. Like I don't know if I'm feeling shaky because I was a little hungry, but I'm like, I didn't finish my brat.
Is it because you think you're gonna spill that brown
No.
right back up?
The adrenaline knowing
I
you're
think
gonna
just
be doing
a
it,
little
yeah.
nerves,
Like
yeah.
butterflies.
It'll be fun though. In an hour and a half, I'll be hurling myself off of a cliff. After a short drive, we had arrived at the Grindelwald Canyon Swing, a 90-meter jump off the edge of a cliff and into this gorge. That looks scary. I don't really consider myself an influencer, but while I was filling out the paperwork, apparently I had inadvertently influenced Sean. This thing was sold out earlier today.
It was sold out.
But they seemed to find an extra ticket.
They found one, yes.
Yeah. Well,
So now I'm in.
now we're doing it. You ready?
Yeah.
This is a layover we're not going to forget, I don't
Yes,
think.
right. That is very true. I'll never forget this.
After one last picture, we loaded into the van for a short drive to the top. I heard a quote once that said, "The moments you remember are those that happened right after you had butterflies." So, I try not to avoid those because those moments are the memory makers. And I truly believe that God placed the best things in life on the other side of fear. So, when your mouth is dry, your vision is closing in, and the noise in your life disappears, the most rewarding thing to do is jump. Awesome. Sean's back. How was it, man?
It was awesome. It was awesome. Definitely scary, you know? That
It was
30 seconds
scary.
go, you're like, oh man.
That
You know,
first, like, 4 seconds,
Oh yeah.
it's like just complete free fall.
Yeah.
But way smoother than skydiving.
Right.
Like a canopy opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're tempted to want to like grab the rope, it's like if you're gonna try to
Yeah,
climb
right.
it, it's like.
I don't even know what I did with my hands. That was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
totally
glad-
worth it. It
I'm
was a
glad you
blast.
came with, yeah.
So I'm so totally glad I did it.
I don't think I'm going to be tired for the whole drive back.
Oh no, adrenaline.
I can do a 2.5 hour drive now. No problem.
Very good morning from the flight deck. Your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you on board United Flight 957. Service now to Newark, New Jersey. We'll be pushing back here shortly. Much road today, 8 hours and 28 minutes from takeoff until touchdown. Should be a very nice, smooth flight all the way to Newark. On our arrival, clear skies, temperature of 87 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 31 degrees centigrade. If there's anything we can do to make your flight more enjoyable today, please don't hesitate to ask. From all of us at United, welcome on board. Enjoy your flight.
Just came over to an airport hotel because I have another trip tomorrow. But man, yesterday was so much fun. When you have a good crew and a good location and an adventure. I mean, this job really doesn't get any better than that. If you are a nervous flyer, I've got one more resource for you. It's a video I made a couple years ago. My hair's a little bit different. It's under 4 minutes though. You can watch that. A lot of people have found some comfort in that. I'll put a link to that right here. If you want to know who's paying for this hotel, I'll put a link to that video right there. And if you want to join me on another layover, I would love that. And you can hit the subscribe button and see whenever that one comes out. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next one. How's it going?
I want to be in your video.
You want to be in it? Let's do it.
Have fun.
See ya.